YouTube, what's up with it? It's your favorite coach, Coach E, and you know I got another banger for you. Let's go. But before we get started, let's address the events that happened this past Friday. As some of you may know, a tornado came through the central Arkansas area and some of East Arkansas too. I believe Wynn, Arkansas, and it did a great deal of damage. There was a lot of losses that were taken this past Friday. On behalf of the TTA Bulldogs, our thoughts, our prayers, and our condolences go out to everyone that was affected by these tragic events that happened this past weekend. Um, we will be doing something. A video will be coming soon with the instructions or the details of everything that we're planning. So just please just keep praying for our city and our state. I mean, I've never seen nothing like this personally. So uh, just keep us in your prayers, and thank you. So let's get to it. Hey, this past weekend, TTA Bulldogs was busy. You hear me? Everybody was in action. We had two teams up in Memphis holding it down and offering some type of representation, in the made hoops. The warm up tournament was showcased. Man, look, I heard number wonderful things about it. I wasn't able to go because, of course, I had to coach my youngins up here in Conway. But shout out to the state, man. ISO Joe, Bryson Warren, TTA Bulldogs, and we went up there and we represented. So I'm proud of everybody from Arkansas who went up there and did their thing, man. That's what it's about, getting these kids some exposure and putting them in front of the best, man. It's not about ducking and dodging. It's about going wherever the talent is and putting your boys, in front of it. So, because, hey, you don't get better playing these rec teams around here. So, hey, shout out to everyone. Arkansas most definitely went up there and represented. So I'm proud of everyone who done it. And, hey, hopefully in the next couple of years, they're going to have to put some respect on our name. You hear me? But, hey, let's get to it. So this weekend, the fourth grade, sixth grade, and ninth grade, we went up there about what, 5 teams deep. We did our thing this weekend with U Trip, the ASC Sports division of it. It's the basketball division. They did the Crown Trophy shootout this weekend in Conway, Arkansas. Dope event. Hey, no complaints. Referees was cool. It was some night talent there. Nothing to complain about. Our fourth grade team, TTA, the team that I coach, we came out with the ring. Shout out to all the teams that was in it. It's gonna be some nice teams around here in the near future. Team Takeover, the Hogs, just a few teams in there. I believe Arkansas, the recruits, they had a decent fourth grade team. These kids, they're learning the game of basketball, and at fourth grade, that is a good age to where the skill level should start to show. But at the same time, it's still a good level. I mean, a good age group too, where you know what to expect. So when you in tournaments like that, it's gonna be either you're here or you're there, and then it might be one excellent team. But at the same time, it's still gonna be some. It's gonna be balanced. So shout out to everyone that participated in it. I'm proud of my boys. They lost the first two games on Saturday. They didn't come prepared to play. Gave the games away. In the first game too, we was there late. I started off with 4 people, so we played 4-on-5 and they held it down. So shout out to them for coming back Sunday and just grinding it out. Team Takeover, that's gonna be a tough team. They got two special guards in the big. Not to discredit nobody else, but I'm just saying they have two dribblers on their team that's pretty advanced, and they have a big on their team too that understands and then gets it. So shout out to them, man. The Hogs, pretty disciplined team. Uh, Not scared. They don't fold under pressure or get intimidated by the tempo change. So shout out to them. But my other fourth grade teams weren't perform. I mean, were there too in action. TTA Bulldogs Dixon and TTA Bulldogs Rebels. Shout out to them too. It was a cool weekend and a cool experience. Uh, you know, that sixth grade division, I had my guy TTA Connors in there, man, holding it down. So, hey, they came out. I mean, it was a little rough. They're a new team, young, a lot of talent. learning the game, trying to figure out how to play together. So, it's the beginning of the season. These are things that you're going to bump into when you're trying to put a new team out there. So, shout out to them. Like I said, amazing team. They're going to be all right. When they figure it out, nothing can stop them. So, be on the lookout for TTA Connors. Ninth grade division. I had my boy TTA Bulldog Shelton in there. Man, listen, that was a decent division, for a local tournament. BW was in there. They had two teams in there. Arkansas Magic. It was some decent teams in there. Shout out to Coach Shelton, aka Coach Tiger. They won. I think they went 4-1, something like that. Maybe I'm not sure, but they held it down. Man, I see a lot of improvement in that team. So hey, man, be on the lookout for them. I give them a year. Hey, if they stay at the pace they at next year, they'll be on that slab doing their thing. So much love to them, man. I appreciate the grind and the intensity that these boys have and the hunger for the game. So much love to them. Hey, TTA Bulldogs, we on the rise, baby. So let's talk about some of these topics around here. I see a lot of people talking about these ridiculous prices that these tournament directors are throwing. I agree. $20 at the door, that's crazy. Especially when you don't have anybody working the clock. This past 2 weekends, actually, man, there's been times where a parent or even a kid has caused, a team to lose a game. Now you can make the argument that the team should have been more disciplined or they should have been more careful, but at the same time, if it's 5 seconds left on the clock and you giving the other team 10 or 15 seconds because you don't start the clock, then I mean that's not really a good argument to have because if we held the ball for 5 or 6 seconds, we did our job. Your job was to start the clock. So, man, I mean, it's a lot of things that I could speak on it, but at the same time, it's a business, and people are gonna do what they got to do to make money. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there are some good tournaments around here, like Carlos Miller. I mean, my guy Josh with ASE. I mean, they do some pretty good events. They pretty cheap, affordable, and I mean, yeah, you might have to work the clock, but at the same time, they're not busting your head at the door. They not busting your head with entry fees, so that's cool. But you know, hey, that's one of them things that I'm gonna have to get somebody on here to talk about because there's so many avenues that we can take with that. But at the same time, I don't try to, I don't get into that. Hey, before I enter in the tournament, I'm gonna do my homework on it, and if it's just ridiculous and it's not gonna be any recruiters there, or anything that's gonna benefit my kids, I'm not gonna put my parents in that position. So at the end of the day, the teams have the power. So if this is really something that's becoming an issue around here, we ought to all just get together and do something about it because at the end of the day, it's all about what we're gonna deal with. So hey, like I said, I'm gonna leave that situation alone. I just add my little 2 cents on it, and hey, it is what it is. So check this out. Another thing that we can address: teams ducking each other. Man, listen. One thing about me, we're not ducking anybody. Anybody. Nobody. Whatever words you want to use, that's cool. Um, I think it's important for my boys to play the best now and take their bumps, especially when you have a team that's made up of a lot of potential and they have the ability to learn from getting beat in different things. Like, for example, I remember when I first put this team together, I knew we wasn't going to be able to practice. Everybody was still in their community leagues, and you know, it would have been impossible for us to practice. So I came to my parents and I said, "Hey, look, we're gonna try. We're gonna take a different approach to this. Uh, I'm gonna enter them in that Josh Hayes league, and we'll use this as practice, and hopefully the kids will learn, how to play the game the same way I learned to play the game as a kid, and that was through reps. We didn't have personal trainers and stuff like that back then. It was you went outside and you hoop and you got your reps in, and I mean and you learned, you practiced. So that was my goal for my kids, and I did. I'm not gonna lie, I used some of the practices in the other situation to train some of my other kids. But at the same time, we never really had official practice because I still had to do my due diligence with my community league team. So I say this: when you start putting your kids in these positions to love the game and learn on the, throw them to the fire and let them learn as it's going on the job training, man, you'll be surprised the response that you'll get from these kids. Like just hiding them in the gym, playing like the sorry teams and keeping them in front of cones, that's not going to teach them anything. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I remember we were playing Bryson Warren U, coached by Coach Glenn and D Lee. Man, they mopped us. But I didn't care. And I'm glad that was like the best thing that could have happened to me because what it does is it teaches your kids that you're not where you think you are. And we still got work to do. And it also show your parents that this is the standard. And this is where we're chasing. Maybe we're not gonna just talk about chasing one particular team, but this is the level of play that's out here waiting. So while we sitting here dominate this rec league or this community league, there are real teams out here who we can't just beat by pressing. And that's our only offense. Like the game actually slows down and these kids need to learn the game of basketball. So, I mean, it can speed up however you want to look at it. That's the purpose of it. So I'm gonna say this. It was rough the first 2-3 weeks. Like rough. But them boys learned, they was picking up on things and it was dope to watch them adapt. And like now, hey, my boys dogs. I mean, we still miss layups in here and there that might cost us the game, but I mean, our record, I know for sure is above 500. You know what I'm saying? So we're most definitely not the same team we started off. So I appreciate um uh these leagues. They give you the opportunity to put your kids in to get the reps. But the thing is, as a coach, you gotta have uh the mindset and you have to be able to take that and make sure that you putting your kids first and not your ego. It's here. I'd rather lose now as fourth graders than win all these little rec leagues and all this and think we good and protect them to their 8th, 9th grade. And then when it's time to travel or put them in position, they out here getting mopped. That's how you lose your kids. So my thing is, I really feel like it's important that you start really, putting your kids in these positions to where it can make them better mentally and physically. Because I'm telling you, my kids are different kids mentally, physically, and just from IQ standpoint, like it's crazy. Like I can just show them things now how to break a press, and I don't have to like waste 30 minutes or 2 hours or even 2 days, 2 practices showing them they can learn on the fly. So, like I said, uh, we just in fourth grade, man. Ain't no need of you sitting here building false sense of confidence, beating up on little teams and all this. Like, man, hey, put them kids out there and let them learn something, man, for real, and make sure that these kids are evolving in the game of basketball. Cause we not running from nobody. Hey, you can beat us for the next 2 years if you're really that team, but we gonna learn from it, and eventually we're gonna catch up with you or pass you. That's fine with me. Like, I don't have I don't have the desire to be the best team in Arkansas right now in fourth grade. I mean, it don't mean nothing. Ain't nobody going to college tomorrow. And if you are that fourth grader that's getting D1 prospect, you already looked at it. The world knows about you anyway, so it's all good. So, man, coaches, hey, stop hiding your kids. Put them in these tournaments. Hey, if you can't win it, that's fine. It ain't about you, no way. I mean, it's cool, winning rings and everything, but at the same time, once you start doing that enough, it's time to graduate and elevate your kids. Because I ain't gonna lie, after a couple more wins, of me playing enough teams and seeing that they ready, we moving up to fifth grade. The only reason why I won't put them up on fifth grade right now is because I don't have a big. My tallest kid is a third grader, and that's my youngest son. And he tall. You know what I'm saying? So when I find that big that I need, oh, it's over. We'll be in the fifth grade division. It might even try the sixth grade, but so many tournaments I be in, man, them fifth grade kids, they be tall. Them kids, man, I seen a 7'11" fifth grader one time. So, hey, not to draw this out, I'm just trying to encourage my coaches, man. Arkansas basketball scene needs that. Stop hiding them and put them in there. It don't matter who in the tournament. Jump in it. We trying to develop the kids, not just win trophies. That's for you. these trophies don't really mean nothing. They cool and everything, but hey, we trying to develop these kids. You know what I'm saying? So hey, that's just my thoughts on it. Hey, but as you know, man, I just had to give you a quick update. Hey, just give you some of my thoughts on everything and just recap this weekend. Hey, shout out to Josh, Carlos. Hey, keep doing your thing, man. You boys grinding, putting on these good events, and it's all about the kids. You're not busting heads, so shout out to y'all. My guy Chuck up there in Fayetteville, we'll be up there soon. Always putting up great events. Much love to you, man. Chuck, all right with me, man. He got all the talent up there too, man. I'm talking about it's crazy. You go up there, you gonna be playing 7'5", 8th graders, so it's crazy. But anyway, man, shout out to Chuck. But and before we go, shout out to all our sponsors. You hear me? Hey, without them, none of this would be possible. So hey, much love to you guys and everything you do. My guy Jeremy Abels, Chris Hervey, Miss Jody Spriggs, and shout out on the Sherwood's Business of the Year award. That was dope. Roger Rogers, Candida Bryant. Shout out to all you guys. I appreciate everything you're doing. Will and Jessica over there at Sweet Autumn Embroidery. Man, major. Um, just to name a few. I don't mean to forget anybody. We got a lot of time to do this. So thank you to everyone and everything you do for us. We greatly appreciate that. So thank you. But yeah, that's about it. This your favorite coach, Coach E. Man, I just had to come touch bases with y'all, man. Hey, we appreciate everyone for your support. Hey, just keep on the lookout. More updates coming. Hey, and get your people. Tell everybody. Like, subscribe, and share. Hey, more heat coming. You hear me? And hey, to all my coaches out there, stop hiding them children. You hear me? Hey, listen. I'm not in a position to be critiquing anyone. I don't have the best team in Arkansas, but my boys some dogs, and we not ducking no smoke. So hey, I don't want you to neither. Come on out here. It's daylight.
Hey, who's ever at the high post, who's in? High post. All right. All you gotta do is just turn and make a play. Let's go. Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna go out and ball, basically.